All right, go.
Good morning, Four Star Sports Nation, and welcome to another Saturday edition of the Four Star Sports Show. I'm Ray McKetto. To my left, we have John Sturdiant, and on the bottom we have Nathan Wilson. And thank you all for joining us today. So we'll start out with what we found interesting this week in the world of sports. So, John, we'll start with you. What you find interesting?
Well, welcome to the show, guys. I'm appreciate that y'all are going to be joining me today. First of all, I do want to say prayers to the Grand Canyon University athletic basketball program. Right now, they lost one of their basketball players due to a car crash. So I just want to pray for them right now as they're going through that rough time as they lost a teammate over the week. What I found interesting was kind of y'all probably pretty much brought it up, through Messenger this week in a way. Uh, Deshaun Watson, it looks like it's getting worse and worse. But until he's guilty of all this, it's just getting nastier by the day with Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. There's up to like 16 women now, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's just, man, I never thought Deshaun Watson would be that type of guy because from Clemson, background, he was like the perfect player that a lot of kids actually bought jerseys for, wore them on the game days. A lot of players or a lot of kids looked up to him, like be like a role model, like Tim Tebow for like he did like at Florida back in the day, Ray. But that and maybe uh, Sammy Watkins maybe going to Baltimore. I was kind of surprised by that because I'm not saying Lamar Jackson is a bad quarterback by no means, but a lot of people do question, his deep ball at times downfield. And Sammy Watkins is one of those receivers that can grab a deep ball at any time
Yes,
from another
definitely.
corner. So
Sammy Wild.
I thought Sammy Watkins probably could have ended up maybe at Tennessee Titans or re-signed with Kansas City, or even Russell Wilson is still a Seattle. I thought maybe he would have been a good fit at Seattle, under Russell Wilson compared to Lamar Jackson, if that makes sense at all. But
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, so the thing I found interesting this week was the fact that the Eagles had traded some draft picks to the Miami Dolphins, and we got some draft picks in return. So we're going to be loaded up for next year's draft, but this leaves for this year's draft in kind of we're in a good place anyway. We have about 11 draft picks, but not on the near the top. We not not as big as we should. So we we have a lot of things to look at in terms of who we want to pick because we have to pick more wisely because of the fact that we are lower in the first round and all that. Nathan, I heard about Joe Flacco being traded.
Yeah, that's what I was reading up on. Joe Flacco going to the Eagles now. So my question about that is, they bring in Joe Flacco. So the whole question revolving around it is he going to be there to be backup and to coach up Jalen Hurts as QB? Let Jalen Hurts be QB1, or is he actually going to be in competition with Jalen at Eagles for the starting position? In which my opinion is, I'd say just let Jalen have it. I mean, he had a good season when he came in for Carson Wentz and played the games that he played. So, I mean, to bring in Joe Flacco, I mean, don't take it wrong. Joe Flacco's one hell of a quarterback. He's good. He's had his good seasons and everything. So, that's a big question to look into. Is that what the Eagles are doing? Are they trying to get some competition for Jalen, or with Joe Flacco, or or is he there to coach him up?
Yes, definitely. So Jalen was very good last year in terms of backing up for Wentz and all that. This year will answer a lot of questions in terms of if Jalen is ready for the big stage or Joe Flacco can come in and have a veteran presence with Jalen learning and all that. So that is awesome. Go ahead.
But what were the Miami Dolphins thinking of getting rid of the third pick, like we talked about before the show even started, guys? Because to be honest with you, other than Tua at quarterback, who's your other backups?
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
But not just that. You had a chance to get Devontae Smith out of the draft, get some wide receivers over there. You had a chance, and you gave it up to the Niners for what? You probably just missed out on getting a top receiver, a top backup quarterback for Tua, and just gave it up to the 49ers. So now the Niners have a chance to decide what should we get, guys, quarterback or wide receiver out of this.
I'm thinking that the 49ers are probably going to keep the quarterback they got and like probably pick up a receiver, and Devontae Smith they might still after all, because I think if you put him at receiver, that just makes that offense a little bit better in San Francisco and compete with Arizona. The way that Arizona's hit the free agent market like crazy this past few weeks, maybe them and Arizona will be competing for the West instead of Seattle and help me out, Ray.
Seattle and Arizona.
Oh yeah, Seattle, Arizona, the
LA Rams too.
Yeah. So I'm like, that West will definitely be interesting in the next couple of months in the off season.
Yes, this off season will be a lot of. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, you also got to remember the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick's out there picking up free agents right now, and
I still got them finishing third in their division behind Buffalo and Miami, though.
Yeah, with all the with everything going on, I think New England is going to stay in the third spot. I think they're going to have a winning season, but they're going to be like third.
Which quarterback would it be?
Yeah, I heard Cam Newton gone for another year.
Yeah, Cam Newton's the quarterback still.
Yeah.
Also, before we talk about, the basketball games, I guess a lot of people, like different people's part of the country right now, are glad baseball's coming back, next week. This is opening day starting next week as well across the Major League Baseball. I know, Ray, you live in Philly, so you should be happy with Bryce Harper in the game.
Yeah, I'm very happy with his performance right now.
He put up at a gas station getting gas that Jeep, too, in his jersey. So,
Yeah.
But, next week, fans, if people want to tune in next week, we're definitely going to give y'all our baseball predictions, although there's like 2 games being played beforehand. But I hope y'all can look forward to that as well for baseball predictions from all of us at 4-Star Sports. I know Wes is a diehard White Sox fan. He's saying they're the best team in Chicago.
I will say this. I will say this for Wes. I am a diehard St. Louis Cardinal fan. Of course. But I'll say this. Wes is not here. But no Whites are good this year. I will not lie about them. I got to see a little bit of their spring games. They look great. So look out for the White Sox this year. And they might end up being the best team in Chicago.
Yeah, it's definitely so with all the chains.
Hey, Ray, have you been watching any of spring training at all, though?
I have a little bit of the other teams, but Phillies in particular, I've seen a lot of the spring training, and they're looking good. The bullpen, though, is a question I have in terms of their performance. We just blew another lead yet last night. It's just concerned about the bullpen right now.
Any prospects? I know that, I'm familiar with Jonathan Bowen, who plays for the Kansas City Royals organization, who we had on the show at one time. But are you looking at any prospects that are got invited to spring training for the Phillies that might be starting like AAA or maybe even on that 40-man roster or how many players they carry right now? Are you seeing any prospects that could start in AAA and right off the bat?
Well, I'm looking at a list of our top now in the Phillies organization as we speak. We have Spencer Howard. He's going to be a good guy who can make his way up to the majors this year. We also have Rafael Merchant, a catcher that can make his presence felt this year. I think they're both going to start the year in AAA. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Girardi would squeeze either Spencer Howard will be the best option right now to start right at the major league level come opening day.
The reason I'm asking is because I don't know if y'all know this, or I'm sure Nathan knows about it, but like the Memphis Redbirds, the AAA organization of the St. Louis Cardinals, are not playing their like West Coast teams like Las Vegas and all them this year. They're playing like Louisville, Nashville, Durham out of North Carolina. They're playing different teams this year due to COVID, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see different prospects and different AAA baseball teams come to AutoZone Park and play the Memphis Redbirds for the first time in so many years that you're not even used to seeing come through Memphis. So that'll be definitely interesting to keep up with in the off season
Yeah.
or during the season and the off season, who gets invited and who doesn't get invited.
Yes, definitely. All right, so moving on then to basketball. It is Sweet 16 weekend, finally, after a long week and all that. The Sweet 16 is here. And before we go any further, I do like to thank everyone who's watching on Facebook this morning, also on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate everything and all that. So, Sweet 16, I have figured out the numbers. I calculated the seeds and took the average. The average seed, fun fact, is around 5 or 6. A couple years ago, it was between 2 and 3, the average seed. So this tournament has a 12 seed, a 15 seed in here, 11, a couple 11s, I believe. Yep. And a 7 and a 6. So we have numbers all around the place. And this is what we look for in the month of March. And what games do you find, guys, most intriguing coming up in the Sweet 16?
I'll go with Nathan first.
Yep.
Look, I'll go with this. All these low seeds this year, we'll give it up for like Oral Roberts right now. Let's look at them. They took out top teams. First off, they took out Ohio State, which along with a lot of people out there, and it was said, a lot of brackets got messed up because, it was a game that shocked everybody. But they didn't stop there. Oral Roberts kept pursuing, kept pushing, started knocking out all these top teams to get where they're at now. Then you got good old Lower Chicago doing their job, knocking out teams left and right too. You got to give this year's for the underdogs, man, and I love it. This is what I love about March Madness. You never know who's going to be the Cinderella story. You never know about these underdogs. You can't overlook nobody in this tournament. At this point, Sweet 16, it don't matter who you are or what seed you are. Do not overlook your opponent by no means, because it could be a
Ray, I was going to also say, a lot of teams better use their timeouts wisely this weekend
Definitely.
as well, because, I'm not saying, what I'm saying is a lot of teams go ahead, Nathan.
Go on, John.
Okay, what I was going to say was I think a lot of teams. I was saying basically a lot of teams basically could basically better use their timeouts wisely because a lot of teams could use like a 10-0 run to start the game or whatnot. Like, for example, the game I'm kind of interesting between. I know a lot of people are saying right now, Syracuse and Houston could be a good game just because Coach Beheim's son is lighting it up from the three ball lately. And of course, Houston's got their good offensive rebounds. They crash the boards pretty well on offense. And they got a good player in Corey Grimes. So that's one of the games I'm kind of interested in. Look at the Pac-12 guys. Who would have thought we would have 4 Pac-12 teams in Oregon State, Oregon, Southern Cal, and UCLA in the Sweet 16? I know I
That's
sure didn't.
absolutely incredible.
I know we talked about, before the show started, guys, but Mick Cronin, I'm not surprised that UCLA's kind of in there because of his background from Cincinnati and previous stops that he's had. But Southern Cal coach Andy Enfield, he's been there before Florida Gulf Coast. So,
Yeah.
and then the Oregon coach is a veteran coach who's been around the game as well. So the Pac-12 is kind of like a surprise to everybody across the country right now. I know everybody's saying Oregon State is kind of a shock, which they kind of are, but they beat Tennessee, who had an up and down year toward the end of the year, and then they beat Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham, the Big 12 Player of the Year. So today and tomorrow will definitely be fun to watch on all these networks: CBS, True TV, TBS, TNT, and all of them. I wish they would just stay on one channel so we could have like 4 games back to back on one channel. But
Yeah.
but it's all good. That's why you love college basketball, because you can always go back and forth and watch different games throughout the day as well.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of which, let's go into our games for today, and then we'll look at tomorrow. So, first game on tap at 2:40 Eastern Time, 1:40 Central. We have Oregon State and Loyola Chicago that are playing. Loyola Chicago right now is a 7-point favorite. Give me Loyola Chicago on this one, guys.
Nathan, who you got? Ray, I'll definitely go with Loyola and Sister Jean as well, because the way that they've been playing as of late. I'm Oregon State just played so many.
Oregon State.
Who you got?
I already got Oregon State.
You got Oregon State. Is that what you said?
No, Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But no, like I think Oregon State has played so many one and done games regarding going back to the Pac-12 tournament, where they're like in the first round elimination game back in this Pac-12 tournament. So I think Loyola basically being not that many. I know everybody had a long break, from last week to this week, but Oregon State just has played too many games back to back to back, and I think it ends today for them. And I think got Loyola Chicago as well.
Yes, definitely. All right, so next game up on CBS, 5:15 Eastern Time, 4:15 Central. We have number 5 Villanova taking on the number 1 seed from the South, Baylor. Baylor right now is a 7.5 point favorite. This is going to be a really good game, guys. Baylor coming in 24-2 and Villanova 18-6. This is like a mini underdog story of itself too, but I think Baylor is going to be too much for Villanova. Give me Baylor.
Ray, I kind of agree with you on that, but I'm not saying Villanova is going to win the game, but I definitely think it's going to be a high scoring game, maybe like a 75-65 or something like that, high scoring game. Both teams better guard a 3 ball. That's all I gotta say, because Baylor shoots or makes 10 threes a game, while Villanova makes 9 threes a game. So somebody better that plays man-to-man defense a lot, they better switch up and play some zone or some box and one, or something like that, and better take a chance and let them shoot the three ball from being in a zone rather than being in a man to man.
Yes, definitely. So, yes. So,
And West has Baylor also, by the way, and he also had Loyola before that.
yes, that's good. All right. So, moving on then to Oral Roberts in Arkansas playing at 7:25 Eastern Time, 6:25 Central on TBS. Arkansas is an 11-point favorite, but as we learned before, can't count the betting line a whole lot because a lot of these teams this year, a number 15 or 11 or 14 could easily be a higher seed as we've seen in the tournament. So this will be a really good game. I can see, but give me Arkansas on this one to pull it out.
You know, Ray, I got Arkansas as well, but I told Wes all week, and I was picking Oral Roberts. But I think Oral Roberts playing Arkansas the first time gave Arkansas fits in the first half at last check. But this is just a totally different ball game, like we talked about, with who was it, Oregon State. But Oral Roberts played so many games or playing so many games back to back to back as well. Well, Arkansas, I think, is one of the hottest teams in this country right now, and Coach Musselman. To me, like if we're picking like point spreads like we do football games, I would definitely say Oral Roberts, in the point spread. But we're just picking winners straight up on who wins. Arkansas is the best, maybe team playing basketball team around the country right now. If that makes any sense to our listeners. But I definitely take Arkansas in the win.
Yes, definitely. So with that,
And so does West, by the way.
Yes, definitely. So, all right. So the last game for today is 9:55 Eastern Time, 8:55 Central, approximately. Syracuse and Houston. Houston is a 6.5 favorite. This is going to be a really good game as well. As I mentioned, a lot of these games are going to be good. Give me. Actually, I'm looking at the underdog in this one. Give me Syracuse.
You and West think alike, I guess, on that one. But talk about the coaching matchups. First of all, in that game, it's going to be two future Hall of Fame coaches, and I know people think Coach Kelvin, from Houston is a cheater from the Indiana days, but hey, he's got that Houston Cougars playing great ball right now. He's been around the game 30-something years, it feels like. And of course, we got Coach Jim from Syracuse has been around the game 40-something years, it feels like. But definitely, I think it's going to be a definitely fun coaching matchup between both teams. If I had to choose right now, I'm picking Houston. Not saying it's because they're in the American Conference with Memphis, but I think the difference of the game will definitely be rebounding. I think right now, Houston's one of the best teams in the offensive rebound category. And Corey Grimes is just fun to watch, period, because whenever you doubt Houston, like toward the end of the basketball games, Corey Grimes always puts them over the hump by making a three ball or even making free throws. So
Yes.
Corey Grimes is special to watch. I got Houston. What do you say, Nathan?
Wait, who's Houston playing again? Who's the matchup?
Syracuse.
Syracuse. The
You know
Orange.
what? Give me the upset. I'm going with Syracuse. I'm going to knock off Houston in this game.
Good one. Good one. Hey, Arkansas Oral Roberts. Okay. All right.
Nathan, you got Arkansas or Oral Roberts? Can you hear us?
That one's a tough one. That one's a tough one.
Fans, we apologize. Nathan's experiencing technical difficulties right now. But But yeah, real quick regarding the Syracuse Houston matchup, Ray, the mascots, whoever's the mascot, during the college basketball games,
Yes.
those will be fun. Those are, I'm sure they're dressed out in their outfit wherever they are watching the games. But those are two fun mascots to look at.
They are. Yeah, going back to Nathan,
Can y'all hear me now? Am I
Arkansas
back
or
on?
Robert? Yeah, we can hear you. You're back on, man.
Yeah, I got Arkansas on this one. Oral Roberts going to give them a close game, a lot better than during the regular season, but Arkansas is going to pull away with it. Give me Arkansas with the win, going to the Elite Eight.
All right. All right, man. And Villanova Baylor?
Yeah, Baylor.
Give me Baylor in this one. Yeah, I got Baylor in that one.
All right, man. All right, so moving on then to tomorrow for also 4 great games. First one at 2:10 Eastern Time, 1:10 Central on CBS. Number 1 Gonzaga, number 5 Creighton in the West. I think this is a foregone conclusion right here. Gonzaga is the best team in this tournament. They're number 1 overall seed. Give me Gonzaga. It's not going to be even close.
Yeah, I agree. I'm picking Gonzaga in this. I thought Oklahoma was going to put Gonzaga to the test, and they did. Gonzaga proved that you can hang with us all you want, but we're going to pull away and end up taking away and win it big. So, yeah.
All right.
I thought
John?
Missouri. Would have played Gonzaga.
The game
I thought,
against Creighton.
Yeah, I thought Missouri would have played Gonzaga, and I thought Oklahoma. I mean, shout out to the Oklahoma coach first of all. Enjoy his retirement. Regarding that, Nathan. But I really thought, I think, man, I just don't know what Creighton anymore. I'm just like they come out flat at times, and then next thing you know, they're on a 10-0 run to tie the ball game. And to be honest with you, I think me personally, the last 2 ball games, Antoine Jones, a former Memphis kid, has only played 3 minutes the last game and then 0 minutes the game before. But somebody, I forgot what game the game was on last week, but they brought up, Antoine Jones stood up for one of the basketball coach, regarding what's going on at Creighton. But I think, like you said, Ray, Gonzaga and Baylor right now are probably by far the 2 best teams, other than Arkansas, in this tournament still left. But definitely Gonzaga. I think it might be a closer game than people think because Creighton shoots the ball from the 3 pretty well. But Gonzaga will probably use their height advantage down low in this game against good old Creighton.
Oh, yes. Okay, so next game up in the East region, we have number 1 Michigan, number 4 Florida State at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Central on CBS. Michigan is a 2.5 point favorite. Michigan is the only Big Ten team left in this tournament, as far as I can tell. And yes, they are the remaining Big Ten team left. So I'm feeling upset in this one. Give me Florida State.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to now, who's Florida State playing? Who was the team?
Michigan.
Michigan.
I didn't hear him.
Michigan.
Yeah, the Big Ten, they're, they're
Yeah.
You know what, Ray? I'll go ahead and pick my game for that one. I think, for example, we're talking like Nathan was talking about the Big Ten for a second. I thought this year in general the Big Ten conference was kind of down this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a disappointment.
I was like, 9 teams got invited to the dance from the Big Ten this year. And I'm like, Michigan State kind of had like 1 game short of 500 record. Michigan, of course, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa were the best teams in the Big Ten by far. who would have thought? I'm not saying Rutgers is a bad team, but Rutgers has their history of being an average team in the Big Ten. But who would have thought the Big Ten, would only have Michigan left? I thought Iowa would basically still be in there at times because the best player Iowa has is Garza. You know, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely pick. I kind of want to pick Florida State just because I like Coach Hamilton. But I think Michigan's playing right now good ball and Coach Juwan Howard.
Oh boy. Oh yes.
But yeah, I got Michigan, Ray. I mean, I hope I'm wrong because I like Coach Hamilton at Florida State as a coach, and he's always done pretty well at Florida State. But Juwan Howard, I guess Juwan Howard doing great things at Michigan, so I guess I'll take Juwan Howard.
Yes. All right. So last game in the East region for the Sweet 16. Number 2 Alabama versus 11 UCLA at 7:15 Eastern Time, 6:15 Central on TBS. Alabama right now is a 6.5-point favorite. This matchup.
We know who you two are taking. It's okay.
Yeah, give me Alabama. I love you, Nathan.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say this. Alabama came out shooting threes. I mean, we got Primo back in the lineup, which helps us out. And I'm glad he was able to come back to play in the tournament. And Patty's finally lighting up from the 3-point range. As if we come out playing like we did against Maryland, I think Alabama will walk away with this one. But I'm not going to just guarantee a win just yet because you just never know what kind of UCLA team you're going to be facing.
Yeah.
Alabama has faced UCLA numerous times in the tournament. And so at this game, as long as Herbert Jones stays healthy, stays out of foul trouble, and Ellis, I know he went down against Maryland with the ankle injury, but he came back later on in the game. Give me Alabama in this one. I think it's going to be a good game, and hopefully Alabama can pull it off.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, before I do my pick, Wes has Michigan in the previous game, and he also has Gonzaga in that other game, by the way. Yeah, Wes also has UCLA over Alabama.
Wes!
I guess he's... Any words from Wes real quick, Nathan?
Yeah, I got a word for Wes. Wes, what's up, man? I picked your Hogs, and I said go White Sox for you, buddy. Come on, Wes. We're gonna talk about this, Wes. We're gonna have a conversation on the next show about this.
Hey, he's on that Ohio State football Kool-Aid, I guess, regarding the football game. But
Wes, stop drinking that Ohio State Kool-Aid. You saw what happened to Ohio State. They lose and they get knocked out every sport right now.
But yeah, guys, I think like you just talked about, UCLA, Nick Cronin is a good coach. The Pac-12, they got 4 teams. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think him going to UCLA instead of staying at Cincinnati was a good fit for him. Going out to the West Coast. But not today. I got Alabama and good old rumor to be Nate Oates going to possible Texas. But Alabama should win.
It ain't happening.
And they will.
Ain't happening.
Alabama. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a closer game, like you said, though, Nathan. I could see it maybe like being a 5 to 6 point game. The difference in the game will definitely be that 3 ball for Alabama, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I want to go ahead and clear this up. Nate Oates has already signed up. He already said he's not leaving. So they can go after Calipari or somebody, tech scan, because they done took Steve Sarkisian from us. So they can go ahead and go after Calipari over there with Kentucky or somebody else. Nate Oates is staying at Alabama, buddy. He got too many good recruits coming this year.
But Stark is going to show such a beautiful campus in Austin, Texas, dog.
No, man. No. But look, I will say this. If Alabama is hitting it from the 3-point range, if they can get the threes falling, then it's going to be a good game for Bama. But if they cannot get those threes to fall, and I hope that Alabama attacks the boards, drives it on the inside, and just if the threes ain't falling, guys, please just take it to the hole, man. Hit jumpers. I don't care. Just I hate to say it, but when we're not hitting, we don't play good. So, but I do want to say this real quick.
Yeah.
I do want to say this real quick. I'm going back on my pick against Arkansas. Well, it's going to be like that to me.
Do it.
I'm picking Oral Roberts. Let's go, Oral Roberts. Wes, we're gonna still talk next show, though, buddy.
Well,
Hey, Ray, real quick. So if UCLA does win tomorrow, Nathan, we got to come up with something now. We got to come up with something to be nice to them now. But real quick, I was gonna say, imagine McConaughey could make that phone call to Nate Oates also. So you never know. No.
Matthew McConaughey's too busy driving his Lincoln around right now. He ain't worried about it.
Well, last game we have in the Sweet 16 is Oregon USC at 9:45 Eastern, 8:45 Central Time on TBS. This, I feel, can be a toss-up. Two Pac-12 teams in the Sweet 16 playing each other. Who would have thought that?
I don't think anybody would have.
Yeah, but I'm loyal to California roots in this one. Give me USC.
Wow, Ray. No, I'm kidding. No. Go ahead, Nathan. Who you got? You got the Ducks or the Trojans?
What's going on here?
I think.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Who you got, the Ducks or the Trojans? Anyways, Ray, what I was going to tell you was, I think, the question is, what uniforms are they going to be wearing on that basketball court for both teams? Is it Southern Cal's all orange going to be on, or I guess they call it orange, right? Or kind of brownish or whatever, but
Yeah, or brownish, yeah.
But and then what colors uniforms that Oregon going to wear? Are they going to wear their green jerseys or neon green or whatever they got in the bag from Nike? That type of deal. But shout out to Mr. Lawson that plays for Oregon, who is a kid from Memphis. So it's always good to see Memphis kids, playing the Sweet 16. But right, Ray, I'm picking Southern Cal in this one. I think the coach has been there before in the Sweet 16 with Florida Gulf Coast. Andy Enfield is probably, a lot of people think he's underrated. And I think he's definitely one of the good coaches in this NCAA tournament still left. So I'm definitely going to pick Southern Cal, just like you, Ray. And I think Nathan's about to tell us who he got. Nathan, go ahead. Who you got?
After this iPhone finally stops messing up on me. All right. My pick right now, y'all, I heard, what did y'all pick, USC?
Yeah.
Yep, both of us USC.
Yeah. Can't do it. Nope. I'm going with the Ducks. Give me the Ducks. Quack, quack.
In memory of the Ducks, the Mighty Ducks sequel is back on Disney Plus now. That started yesterday.
Oh, I know. Feel like a kid again, man.
I know, right?
It's what made me like hockey so damn much.
Ducks fly together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wraps up the Sweet 16. And speaking about Memphis is in the semifinals in the NIT. So let's see what semifinal games we have. Okay, here we go. So first game is at noon Eastern Time, 11 o'clock Central Time on ESPN. Memphis and Colorado State. Memphis right now is a 4-point favorite. I've seen Memphis in their conference tournament. They should have gotten the tournament, but did not. Memphis will be looking to have an NIT title. As a result, give me Memphis in this one to get the job done against Colorado State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tigers as well. I'm actually hoping the Tigers to win the whole NIT division and the whole tournament. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a close one. Give me Tigers by, I say 4.
Yeah, around
That's
there.
what the point spread is, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Good call there, sir.
I didn't even know that. I just called it, man.
That's exactly what the point spread is at last check.
Is
Wow,
it really?
Yeah, 2 games in a row they had it at 4. But
I'm going to Vegas, baby. I'm calling stuff.
yeah, Ray, the Memphis game will be definitely interesting after the Boise State game. I mean, Memphis defense kind of won that game for them, because when you hold a team to less than 60 points, you're expected to win a ball game.
Yeah.
But the thing that bothers me the most still, like we in West and everybody have talked about on this show before, even Braden's brought it up, is free throws and offensive rebounds and basically the 3-point shot. And 2 out of those 3 right now, Memphis is struggling at the 3-point shot at times and the free throws. We're shooting like 45 to 50%, it feels like, the last 3 ball games in this NIT tournament from the free throw line. And I'm thinking Memphis is going to win just because, the way that DJ Jeffries and Lester Quinones is playing, especially Lester, man. I'm sorry, but when you got a guard like him, for example, last game he had 7 rebounds. One game, he had 15 rebounds a couple weeks ago. When you got a guard like him going to crashing the boards as he is, because your big men are not getting enough rebounds as it is, and just stepping up big for you. And that's why I like Lester and Boogie Ellis. I think the key for this game right here from Memphis, you got to also get Landers Nolly going, Nathan. You've seen Landers Nolly play from, he was at Virginia Tech and now Memphis. Nolly did not have a good game last game at all. You got to get Nolly going, get him some touches as well. But with that being said, I'm definitely picking Memphis because I think Memphis needs to win this tournament to make a statement to the NCAA and get ready for next year.
Exactly.
Because I think also the scheduling is going to be a lot tougher next year as well, with Penny reaching out to multiple coaches now, because I think playing these tougher teams could get you ready for the NCAA tournament next year. I mean, the only thing about Colorado State is they don't have Larry Eustace coaching that team, which that would have been a fun matchup, seeing Larry Eustace again coach Colorado State. They used to be at Southern Miss and used to be at Colorado State until he got let go.
Yeah,
But
and you got
I just want to say congratulations. I was going to say also congratulations to Coach Matlock, who is basically going to South Carolina State after this NIT gets over. So I think the players want to win it for him as well before he leaves to go to South Carolina State to be a head coach. So that's one reason I'm picking Memphis as well.
Yeah, here's another thing about Memphis, about the Tigers, man. Anybody that watched, the regular season for the Tigers against Houston, and even in the tournament, the Tigers, even in the regular season, they got beat by Houston only by a buzzer beater. A shot that nobody thought was going in, but it went in. Now, I feel like, yeah, and I feel like the Tigers, if they win NCAA tournament, they would have went pretty far in it. And since they got knocked out and had to go into the NIT, I mean, you're right. They're going to win this NIT to prove a point that they shouldn't have knocked us out of the tournament. Should give us a chance. But at the same time, I think this is going to help Tigers. Uh, as they're going. Like I said, I already have them picking the NIT to win it, and I feel like Penny Hardaway. He's done a great job with the guys, and it's like I said, Tigers are going to turn around next season. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully so. And the other semifinal game we have for today at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central on ESPN after the Memphis Colorado State game is the Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech. And they are basically even right now in terms of the line, surprisingly. And so this is a really good toss-up here. These two are really similar in terms of stats and everything like that, but give me Mississippi State in this one to pull it out.
Yeah, as everybody knows, Louisiana Tech knocked off the number 1 seed Ole Miss at the beginning of the NIT, which was a huge shocker for a lot of Ole Miss fans. I know because Ole Miss, I was having it to be Ole Miss against Memphis for the NIT championship is what I had thought it was going to turn out to be. But Louisiana Tech, they are a good team. I'll take nothing away from them. Mississippi State coming in off that close win last week, so this is going to be a good game. It's yeah. I mean, I agree. It's evenly matched up. But you know what? Give me Mississippi State in this. I'm gonna pull for the SEC. And give me Mississippi State.
West does have Memphis in his game. He better have Memphis, but in this game he has Louisiana Tech over Mississippi State. I'm sure a loyal listener or a guest or one of our friends that is on the show with us named Brandon Bumgarner definitely wants to see Memphis versus Mississippi State in the championship because he's also a Mississippi State fan. But but that'll be a fun game to watch, guys, because Ben Howland, who would have thought he was going to be in the Final Four left with Mississippi State in the NIT after the season they had throughout the year. They had a up and down year throughout the season as well. But hey, I gotta give credit when credit is due. Mississippi State is one of the hottest teams right now in the NIT, other than Memphis. But I'm definitely going to pick Mississippi State just because I want to see a future game between Ben Howland and Penny Hardaway. Hopefully, they'll work something out on the schedule as well in the near future. Plus, I have family in Starkville, so I got to pick Mississippi State just because I'm sure they'll be calling me like, you picked La Tech? They don't got no Karl Malone or anything back in the day anymore. So, I'm going to definitely pick Mississippi State in that one. So I'm hoping it'll be a Memphis versus Mississippi State final tomorrow afternoon on good old ESPN.
Yeah, so those are two really good NIT games to look forward to. Yeah, so let's shift the focus now to baseball, guys. I know the college baseball season is in full bloom in terms of the conference schedule and all that. What I'm looking forward to this weekend, I know that Florida already played yesterday, so I'm looking forward to Florida, South Carolina. Two, I believe, top 25 teams playing in South Carolina. They won the first game against Florida in extra innings, and they play today at 4 o'clock Eastern, and then they're playing Sunday at noon. So this is a really good series to see who's going to have the upper hand in the SEC this year. Hey, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Ole Miss Alabama series that's going on right now. I mean, it's turned out to be a good season, and Ole Miss is number 4 this year, and they're looking good. I mean, I have a feeling Ole Miss will do really good this year, and go pretty far, and hopefully they get into Omaha for the series. But the Alabama Ole Miss series is going good. It's one I'm still watching. Hopefully Alabama can pull off and at least win one game out of the series, because right now Ole Miss is leading the series 2-0. So that's a game to check in, watch. It's out in Tuscaloosa, and I want to say this real quick for I know I got family and friends in Alabama and everything. I do want to send prayers out to them, as a lot of people know about the tornadoes that went through Alabama, tore up a lot of houses, people lost houses and everything, and just shout out to all y'all, praying for y'all, and hopefully y'all can recover from it.
Yeah, especially in south of Birmingham, where was a lot of damage in that section, in northern Shelby County.
Yeah, they had three tornado warnings back to back to back. It feels like,
Yep.
but yeah,
Yeah, one of
just
them was 35 miles.
Yeah, but I'm I'm not saying Memphis got lucky because we had our share this morning with lightning and thunder at 4 o'clock. They came through this morning.
Yep.
But it's one reason I'm kind of thankful for the Mississippi River, because if the Mississippi River did not really exist, we would get more tornado weather here, in the Memphis area.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got lucky because round 2 is supposed to hit around 3 o'clock that Thursday afternoon, I believe it was, right, Nathan? Because that's when the tornadoes actually hit Birmingham. I'm like, man, I don't want no bad weather from nobody, but we just got lucky here in the Memphis area in general because of that. Because we were supposed to get round 2 at 3 o'clock that afternoon. And then next thing I know, I look around 4 o'clock and there's tornado warnings going all over the place in the southeast, from Mississippi to Alabama to Georgia to Nashville area as well a little bit. But the series I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend is, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Al Leiter's son for Vanderbilt. Through that no hitter last week against gosh, man, they played South Carolina. South Carolina woke up yesterday, I guess, beating Florida. But man, the 1-2 punch for Vanderbilt baseball right now regarding pitching on a weekend series between Rooker and then Leiter, I'm like, that's gonna be tough to beat down the road in the SEC, especially when Missouri played Vanderbilt yesterday and they only had 3 hits for the ball game. They had 3 runs off those 3 hits. But find me a better team right now other than y'all's teams. But Vanderbilt baseball, man, 1-2 punch regarding the pitching. I also want to give a local shout out to Tate Colwick, who's been hitting the cover off the ball. He's got 5 home runs. He had 2 home runs in that one game alone against South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Vanderbilt and Missouri could be a good series, but Vanderbilt's already took two games from that series. But the game I'm kind of interesting is LSU is traveling to Tennessee and good old Knoxville. Tennessee won yesterday over LSU, but whenever those two teams usually battle it out either on a football field or baseball field or softball field, you're always going to see a good matchup, between LSU and Tennessee on the baseball field.
Yeah.
And then another game that features 2 top 25 teams is Louisville at Notre Dame, Ray. That'd be kind of interesting for a lot of ACC listeners and fans across the South as well. But Nathan, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Vanderbilt's number 1 now, right?
Right.
So
I think they were.
So Vanderbilt jumped to number 1. So is it still 5 SEC? Is the top 5 all SEC?
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Help me out, Ray. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Alabama, Arkansas.
Yeah, I'll get you the poll here shortly here. This is based on USA Today coaches poll. Actually, D1 baseball top 25. And there we go. Yeah, Vanderbilt's number 1.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Mississippi State. Actually, Ole Miss, then Mississippi State, and then Florida. Top 5.
Oh, wow.
So all the SEC owns the top 5 in that poll. But we have different polls right now, too. So I'm looking at the Baseball America poll at this point. Let's see.
Hey, while you look that up, Ray, I want to say, hey, look at East Carolina being at number 8 in one poll. Right now, they're 16-3 on the year.
Yeah, they're in the USA Today coaches poll at number 8.
I mean, it's fun because
now I wasn't able to see it. Now,
yeah, go ahead.
I was saying that I wasn't able to watch this game, but I heard it happen. Now, Memphis played Arkansas, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but yeah.
What
They
was
got
the score
shut
out
out
of that?
pretty
Because
good.
I didn't get to watch it.
First game was like 14-1,
okay.
and the other game was like another game similar to that. But like interesting point regarding that. Wes and I were texting, regarding Arkansas Memphis game, and Wes got to watch a little bit before I went to work while I was getting ready for work. But the Memphis pitching staff, in general right now is at 7.00 as a team right now, Nathan. And they lost to Murray State yesterday, and you can't lose to a team like Murray State at home when you got, like we talked about with Hunter Goodman, he's an All-American catcher, right now at Memphis. I'm like, we're just losing with pitching right now. That's the main thing that Memphis is losing at right now, because I'm not trying to bash Murray State and Ohio Valley or whatever, but still, you're supposed to beat these teams, at home. You took a good series away from Middle Tennessee over the last weekend, who Middle Tennessee was one of the hottest teams going into last weekend. So I'm like, this Memphis season, I mean, it's going to be interesting when conference play is all together for a lot of teams, don't get me wrong. But this is the year that Memphis should make some noise if they want to make a tournament again. Because, like I said, there's no reason for teams like Murray State to come into Memphis and beat Memphis at all. Ray,
Yes,
who else has surprised you this year in college baseball?
Well, as I look at the poll, Pitt has surprised me. Pittsburgh right now in the RPI is like in the top 5 in the RPI. In the coaches poll, they are the 18th ranked team right now, which is, I find, pretty surprising in terms of their schedule being more competitive. And
you can say the same. Yeah.
They got more of the top 25 teams on their schedule.
I guess you could say the same thing. Yeah, I guess you could say the same thing with Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is in the top 15 looking at the poll right now. And, like I said, this is one reason March is like March Madness for college baseball. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day. It's just fun to watch right now because you see upsets all over the country still regarding college baseball too. But I do want to tell our fans, to follow us on Twitter /Instagram at 4-Star Sports Show, and like and follow us on Facebook at the 4-Star Sports Show. Be sure to check out our website for articles from our team, and just talk about a little bit of like a blog as well on 4starsportsshow.live as well. So, guys, it's gonna be a fun weekend.
Nathan, I do want to share this late news coming right out of Miami. Howard Schellberger, the coach who started the Miami Dynasty, has passed away at the age of 87.
The coach that used to be at Florida Atlantic a long time ago too, right?
At Miami, yeah, and yes, he was the building block of the Miami Hurricanes dynasty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Passed away today at 87.
Prayers to that, him and his family also. But real quick before we end the show, guys, I'm glad the NCAA stepped in and did something regarding the women's weight room as well. I'm like, that was just wrong from the beginning on what they did. By looking at the Oregon basketball player, I forgot her name on top of my head, looking at her videos, I'm like, NCAA, you should be ashamed of yourself. Period. Bottom line, it's not a sexist thing at all because women's basketball get the same treatment as men's basketball, and they put their heart out day in and day out because a lot of people like women's basketball. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed watching this women's basketball tournament so far because, like, you saw an in-state matchup between Tennessee and Middle Tennessee, right? I saw Belmont beat Gonzaga in women's basketball behind Destiny Wells, who played here locally at Houston High School. She had 20 something points against Gonzaga, the 5 seed, and Belmont was the 12 seed. So, women's basketball, like we talked about before the show, guys, Iowa and UConn is going to be a fun game to watch at 12 o'clock if people don't want to watch men's basketball. I would just wish we could, like I said, put one team, one game here, one game there, and then put it on all 4 screens. But guys, it's gonna be a fun day today and tomorrow. Fans, if you got any questions, regarding our show, if you ever want to send us a comment or ask us a question, send us a message on our Facebook page, or send us a comment, on even through YouTube. We subscribe to us on YouTube as well, and subscribe to us on Twitch as well, and on Instagram. And it's gonna be a fun weekend, guys. Appreciate coming on with y'all today as well. But enjoy the weekend.
Yes, indeed. For John Servant, Nathan Wilson, Christian Johnson, Brenton Baumgartner, Wes Pruitt, Aaron Smith, I'm Ray McAdam. Have a great weekend, everyone, and take care.
You have a great one.